Okay, hello. So I've just finished The Innovation Stack by Jim McKelvey. So this one's very new. It literally came out on Audible, I think yesterday. I pre-ordered it. I was pretty keen to give this one a go. There wasn't a lot on it online, sort of talking about it, so I had a little bit of a look, and I just got the feeling it was going to be quite a good book, and I wasn't disappointed. It's really, really good. If you're entrepreneurial, I mean, this is the sort of thing I talk about on this channel anyway, is personal development and business and sort of entrepreneurship and things. And if you're of that sort of mindset and you want to be more entrepreneurial, you want to improve with business, you want to get into business, start your own business, this book's really, really good. It is, the title does give a certain amount away. It's definitely about innovation. It's about being creative. It's about taking chances and taking risks and all the stuff that we talk about in personal development that lots of books kind of go over. But I think he does a really good job in this one of kind of talking from his own personal experiences, and it just has a sort of feeling of originality to it. Basically, it feels quite unique. It sort of stands on its own pretty well, I think. I just really enjoyed it. I got through it in less than a couple of days. It's really, really good. And there's also a video on YouTube of him being interviewed by a guy as well. I think it's about an hour long or so, something like that. They interviewed him, had it live. Can't remember the name of the guy, but you'll find him on there on YouTube. I think if you just type in the Innovation Stack Jim McKelvey, or just the Innovation Stack review, I think it comes up. But yeah, he's just a really interesting guy. His company that he sort of co-founded, they were taken on by Amazon, and they survived that and saw Amazon off, which was absolutely amazing. As he talks about in the book, they're the most dangerous company to come after you, and they managed to get through it somehow. And he basically says that they got through it because they didn't kind of compromise, they didn't try and change anything. They knew that Amazon could outgun them in every possible way. They knew they could afford to do things cheaper than them, they could market better than them, they could do all these sorts of things, but they just decided, this is our product, we're selling at a decent price, we're selling at a cheap price, that's not so cheap it's going to kind of destroy us, but is reasonable. What we do is good, stick with it. And eventually Amazon disappeared and gave up, basically. So that was fantastic. Another bit of the book that I really enjoy, he talks about a guy called Herb, who is the main man, or was the main man, for Southwest Airlines. Sadly, he died in 2019. I didn't really know a lot about him before this book, but I'm really interested in him now. I'm going to do a bit of reading around him and sort of a bit of research. I've heard about Southwest Airlines before. Obviously, being English, they're an American company, but you do hear, with all the personal development sort of reading and stuff that I've done over the years, you do hear about Southwest as being a unique sort of company and a sort of success story. But I hadn't really done any kind of reading around it before, so this book kind of sort of enlightened me on that, really. And I've kind of learned that the main guy, Herb, was a real sort of charismatic, fantastic leader, really innovative, and just did a fantastic job. Basically just treated the customers really, really well. He said, he's got a quote that if you don't change, you die, and that sort of stuff. The Innovation Stack is, I suppose, so I don't like to give too much away about the books that I review, but it's just kind of this idea, I suppose, that you're just bringing innovation and sort of creativity and originality into everything that you do with your business. So you might have a product that is obviously new to begin with, and he also talks about timing as well, the importance of timing, so that you might have an idea but don't necessarily, if you come out of it at the wrong time, it can fall flat. So it's a lot about timing as well. So he says that you've got to be mindful of that. But yeah, so you might have a product that is new, you might then have a way of delivering it that is new and innovative as well. You might then have a totally innovative new way of looking at the sort of staff, the people that you use to try and sort of promote it or sell it. It's kind of about, it's this idea of sort of turning all the kind of traditional things on their head to a certain extent, and kind of coming up with something new, so that you've got all these different innovations that come together to make your business successful, basically. And Southwest was one of the examples he used for that, and it's really, really interesting. I can't really do it justice talking right now off the top of my head, but it just talks about how they just did things differently. They didn't serve food, they just served peanuts and drinks, I think. Their staff were just treated much better. It was a lot more about fun. Lots of different things that went against the grain of what normal airlines sort of did. Prices being ridiculously low. They had their own airfields, their own airports or whatever, and things like that to bring prices down. They only used one type of plane, the 737, the Boeing 737, so that all the staff knew how to turn things around really quickly. So they had like a 10-minute turnaround when normally it took about an hour or something. So all these different innovations kind of came together and just made them really strong, and just made them a huge success. So yeah, that was kind of my favourite part of the book. Really, was the stuff about Southwest. There's other stuff in there. I won't, like I say, I won't go over everything, so I'll be talking for absolutely ages. But it's a really good book. It's, like I say, just to sort of summarise, really, I found it quite original. The advice I thought was really good in terms of entrepreneurship and what it means to be an entrepreneur. Stepping outside of your comfort zone, basically, and you don't know until you try something. You have an idea, you try it. It's the sort of book that really you would really benefit from reading or listening to sort of early on in your sort of journey, I suppose, in your career. I'm not quite 40 yet, and I feel as though, although I've had my business for a few years now, I still feel quite towards the beginning of my journey, really. I'm kind of doing these videos on YouTube, and my business is still relatively small, although I'm quite happy with where it is at the minute. But I do have kind of ambition to sort of move things on to a certain extent and improve and grow personally as well. So I feel as though I'm still relatively near the beginning of my journey, really, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And I think this is a really good one to sort of get into your head, to sort of understand and think about. And it's really, really good. So I listened to it on Audible. Really easy to listen to, good narration, great book, highly recommend it.